Hello VCT EMEA fans, and welcome to a very special episode of the Spike Drop. I am your host Yingsu, and as you can see on my head, we're celebrating a birthday. Valorant will be turning 5, so who better than to join me to talk about all of the triumphs and heartbreaks of the last 5 years than Coach pipsoN and Coach Gorilla. They, just like me, have been through it all. So enjoy the episode and let us know who else you would like to see on the next episode of the Spike Drop. I am now joined by pipsoN from Giant X and Gorilla from MKOI. Very, very welcome, you guys, here to the podcast studio. We have a podcast. Have you been watching the podcast? You should be saying yes.
Not a single time.
You should be saying yes.
I've watched clips.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're a real one. You're a real one. Now, the reason that we have gathered here today is because we're coming up to the 5-year anniversary of Valorant. So happy birthday, Valorant. Woo.
I feel old.
Woo. No, you're not old though.
I feel old.
Do you feel old?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yes,
That's a
I
lie. Do. That's a lie. What people don't know is that you guys have been here since the beginning, the very beginning. And you both started as players. You didn't actually start as coaches. So I'm going to start with you, Harry. Tell me a little bit about those days, beginning, the beginning of Valorant.
Well, I was an IGL.
Yeah.
All the way back in the other shooter game that I don't know if I'm allowed to.
You're allowed to. Yeah.
But yeah, and then I came over to Valorant. I played against your team actually.
I don't remember.
I played against your team, and I had one game where I was really good, and then the other two I was really bad.
Wait, which team? Prodigy?
Giants.
Oh, Giants?
It's already not bad actually.
Oh, wow.
It's already pretty long time.
Yeah. So yeah, I was coaching at that point, but I needed to stand in. But yeah, I was not that good as a player.
No?
No, 0.5 KD.
Which team did you play for?
Play was just a bunch of random tier 4 unsigned teams.
Okay.
You were quite good.
No.
You were. Why are you saying no? You were quite good.
Only in beta.
Okay, so what made you move to this game as a player?
Honestly, we had a break in CS kinda. There was lockdown, not lockdowns, but there was almost nothing happening and the stuff like that because of COVID and the stuff like that. So, and the new game went out and I just decided to download it and play a little bit and with my friends from CS. So, and it was fun. Yeah, and I continue playing.
Are you the last surviving member of your original Valorant roster? What did everyone else end up doing?
I don't know, to be honest. No, I don't think so. Let's say my first roster was with me.
Yeah.
Chihuahua.
Oh, Chihuahua. Yeah.
Dimasic.
Oh my goodness, what a roster.
Arch. And Duno.
Yeah. So you got carried.
Oh, I got carried. Super hard.
Oh my. Okay, so they're all still playing. So they're all
yeah.
still around. So okay, that's interesting. What made you to switch to coaching? Was it really the stats, in your mind thinking, oh, I maybe could be better as a coach?
Yeah, for me, I really enjoyed the theory side of it, but I didn't have hands. So it's I basically was just I can keep doing the theory stuff because then I didn't realize how much coaching was people management. So I was I'm just going to do all the theory and whatever. But then I don't actually have to play. I think it was when they introduced the cap on ranked 5 stacks where you couldn't 5 stack anymore. For immortal players, and it was I just didn't enjoy solo queuing.
That was the reason.
Yeah.
So when did you switch to coaching? Which year?
2021, the end of or mid 2021.
Oh, okay. What about you, pipsoN? Because you were playing in first try. You were playing, tier 1 tournaments.
Yeah. I remember I got even top 6. I think
you did.
I won Twitch Rivals as well, the first one, when it was 2 different groups. One was won by Mixwell, one was won by us. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. The thing is that I didn't enjoy playing individually at all. And even after switching to coach, I don't play. I maximum play one ranked in half a year or stuff like that. And if you don't spend a lot of time individually as a player, it will never worth it. And I was more into helping my teammates to grow and fix their things rather than focusing on myself as a player. So in that case, you don't need a player like that. So it's better to switch.
Wholesome answer.
Yeah. And then do you enjoy screaming at them as well?
I never scream.
Did you guys ever what kind of IGLs were you? You know, when you were playing?
I was like very micromanagement, and it reflected in the stats. Like, because the people I was playing with weren't amazing.
Minimap watching.
Yeah, basically, I was staring at walls, being like, right now, come out of here, right, go in there, use this, and go. You know, I was playing like behind lamps, just staring at the wall. I had a teammate in heaven just staring, you know, watching my short, and I was controlling the people at B.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I can see why you switched.
Yeah.
Danny?
Just a regular one.
What do you mean? What do you mean a regular one?
Just
fragging IGL?
No. In beta, actually, yes. In beta, I was actually good. Like when it was Brimstone, I remember I had a grand final versus CNET in the first strike. Versus CNET, we played the grand final, and I think I finished like plus 25 against him in best of 3 or something. In beta, it was good, but then I didn't I don't play, like as I say, and I don't want to play. And I didn't enjoy it. So, but about IGL, just a regular one. You just tell what to do, and people are doing it, and that's it.
Go kill. Demosit, go kill. Go do that. There you go. Yeah, probably once or twice in your career. My question is, if you had to sub in today for your team, do you back yourself?
Unplayable.
No, come on.
I actually played the ranked 3 days ago or 4 days ago.
How was it?
I played 5 stack. I will not tell with who, but it was fun. We played actually, I think, the game versus Mixwell.
Oh, okay.
And he's 5 stack, and it was fun.
It was fun?
It was fun.
So you back yourself if you had to sub in for GX?
Probably it will not end up well, but if there is no other choice, what can you do?
I would love it if one day that happens, and
I'm ready.
Yeah, you're ready?
Yeah. I'm always there in dry runs, you know, like just fragging out.
Have you had to scrim with your team? And how did that go?
I did.
Yeah? Was it good?
Yeah. Actually, it was previous year.
So your scrim win rate is quite high.
I had to play versus BBL, I think, back then, on Breeze instead of Hoodie. And it was actually pretty good.
Oh, you got a high win rate in scrims. You've had surely at some point? Never.
No, never. I got very close this year. I think because somebody had like a visa appointment or something. It got to the point where I was in the lobby.
Oh.
With my assistant coach in coach slot, and then just that moment, I can't remember who it was, but the player walked in, and I was like, "Come on!"
Oh my goodness! Okay.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can, in the future, content-wise, we get the coaches going. I think that like Webbers seem to do quite well. Zaysh,
they are playing game, no?
Yeah.
They are like actually playing some rankeds and having fun and stuff like that.
Geis is also really good.
Yeah, of course he is.
He was a player for Foot.
Yeah. Well, maybe for the 10th anniversary of Valorant, we do like coaches versus coaches. See how that goes. Yeah, I think that Potter would be amazing. No?
This would be actually
Potter
banger.
Would be sick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we'll make it happen. But let's keep talking about the past because, like I said, a very big birthday for Valorant. Where were you when you first heard of Valorant or saw the trailer or was aware of this game? Do you remember the very first time you heard about it?
Yeah. I was in CS. But I heard that the game is going out and I got a key after that. Not a key, like account. So I started to play like pretty much in alpha. Instantly. Yeah, but that's how it started.
What about you?
I wasn't that popular. I had to watch streams.
You had to watch him play.
Sorry, but no. I think I was watching Smooya when I got my...
Of all people,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, because I was in CS as well, but I was at uni. And obviously COVID had just hit. And I knew that if I didn't want to go back home, to my parents, so I just stayed in my uni hall, playing CS, practicing with my team. And I was really, it was like the first day the keys came out, and I was really like down because I didn't get a key yet. And I said, right, I've got prac in like 20 minutes. I'm going to go shower, come back. Showered, come back, and I have a key. I just left the stream running.
Oh.
And then I messaged the team at the time, being like, hi guys, won't be in prac today. I'm going to go play Valorant. See you.
Wait, from Smooya's stream? You got a drop from him?
Yeah.
My goodness. But you played at uni.
Yeah, I played uni.
You were good.
Yeah, I was okay.
Yeah, I did your games. You were good. Yeah, that was my first hosting role, was doing a collegiate league, and he was playing. I was hosting.
You had uni tournaments in CS?
No, it's in Valorant.
In Valorant, yeah. And in loads of other games.
Yeah. CS. I was playing in the CS ones, but our CS team at uni wasn't good. Our Valorant team was decent.
Your Valorant team was very good. You had some good names in there. Yeah. When it comes to how the game was back then, how would you describe it to somebody maybe that only got into Valorant in like 2024? You know, what's the one thing that sticks out the most? Because for me, it was actually two things. One was just how long the Sage War was. Do you remember? It was like, on Split, you could just you just wall off everything. And when Killjoy had her global util, that was nice.
Killjoy was not the beginning agent.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. When
it was the golden age.
Golden age. Yeah.
I mean, golden age was when Raze had 2 grenades.
Yeah.
And Satchel deal 90 damage.
I forgot about that one.
So you can have like 2 grenades and 90 damage with Satchel, and you cannot get on middle on Split Split was middle was much tighter.
Yeah.
And there was an orb.
Chance.
There was an ult orb in mid as well.
Oh,
and there is no chance. There is Sage Race. They slow, double nade,
and the
double
slow.
satchel.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Nuke.
No way.
It reminded me of Nuke a lot. Like just.
Do you miss
defense.
it? Do you miss
it was
the
actually
shenanigans?
I think it was actually fun due to it was much less utility in the game, and it was a lot of like micros in terms of individual micro, like fighting, taking fights and the stuff like that. And almost every round you saw some insane highlights back then, because right now it's a little bit harder to do due to you are staying and suddenly there is like stun, double Tejo missiles, something is flying in your face, deadlock grenade, and you are like, okay, do I even have a chance to press mouse 1 or not?
To be fair, you say this, but at least when I remember playing, if the opponent Jet had an ult, it was done.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's GG's.
But it was the other way of how do you need to play against the op.
True. That is true.
And if you're 100 Thieves, it was just avoid CNED.
This is also one of the part of the game, right? You can avoid the op, or you can play more straightforward in terms of your utility, because you don't have a lot of utility, but you have enough utility to go and take one zone and exec from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So you can play more simple without like a hard approach of like something related to macro, and it will be rough for op, which is right now is just different.
And speaking of that, back those days, 2020, 2021, maybe we just stick to 2020. Who do you think was the Valorant beta player in terms of the esports side? Who was the name that, or maybe in scrims and stuff, you were just thinking this guy's going to be insane? Who dominated those days?
It's actually rough to say. There were a lot of good players.
Or give me a couple of names.
All of them. Cena, Chao. Shao was insane when he was
Shao.
playing like Phoenix, like in the beginning, all of that. He was insane in Patty Parrots.
Patatek was good too. I remember Patty.
Yeah, Patty in G2 was really good as well. Mixwell was god back then. Like in beta, he was literally a god.
Anyone you remember?
Not for me. I wasn't in like tier 1 scrim. I wasn't good enough.
But did you watch it? When you were watching the Valorant, were you feeling like, oh, this guy's insane?
Honestly, no. I don't, like my memory doesn't hold up that well.
I know one.
Self-proclaimed Angel.
Yeah, but Angel was good though. I remember.
Yeah, I know one. Ice Paper Hands.
Oh, for goodness sake. Yeah, we're not going to explain that one. If you know, you know. Yeah. If you remember, you remember. But you're right.
He was best jet.
No, I actually think a lot of the UK boys, right?
To be fair, wasn't Dom like an Omen player back then as well?
No, Dom played Raze, no?
No, but way...
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, if you go back to the really old, like, Headshot movies, Dom was an Omen main.
The Omen I remember the most was Avova. Some of the stuff that he was doing, people still do the stuff that he did then. Like, people just stole his stuff.
He's still doing it, like, the same things, huh?
Yeah.
There was a super aggressive woman back then who was really, really good. It was Kriya.
Oh, of course. I mean, that NIP had, they were doing business. Rhyme.
Oh, Rhyme in NIP.
Yeah, our boy Rhyme was on that roster as well. Some very nice names, I think. It's nice to kind of reminisce a little bit. How hard has it been, you think, over the last 5 years to be able to stay consistent? And, we see a lot of players have retired recently. Big names are retired. Has it been, you think, difficult? What's been the reason you think that's been challenging to keep doing this for 5 years and maybe for 5 more years?
First of all, I think that the game changes. and the meta shifts in Valorant quite often. And for some players, it was rougher to adapt to the meta. For someone, it was easier to adapt to the meta. Second of all, it's motivation, as always. Like when you are in a scene for a super long time, and especially if you were winning something, usually your motivation drops down, and it's super normal to happen. And obviously, it doesn't mean that in the next day when this happened, you became not that good. But with a matter of time, people who have more motivation and time grinding the game, they start to become better. And you feel that your level is a little bit dropping down, and maybe your priorities a little bit shifts because you're also getting older. So your priorities can shift from not playing 12 hours a day. Yeah, so that's what I think is one of the main reasons usually.
Do you think more people should maybe go into coaching? If
No.
Why? Wait, you don't recommend coaching?
No. Stress levels, like you think playing is hard, coaching's way worse.
Really?
And also like there's already too many coaches. Like
Do you think there's too many?
I mean, it's a saturated market. Like I know for KOI they had so many applications for coaches.
Oh, you mean and then like assistants and analysts and so on and so forth.
There's so many. I mean, like, but if you're a player and thinking about getting into coaching, like just think you're basically, instead of just like you focusing on your own game, you're focusing on the whole team's game, and then you can't really like you have like 2 minutes a game to actually have input in it, and then you're watching players make bad decisions and you can't do anything about it. You can't like play for them. You can't like be a little voice in their ear. Yeah, maybe in practice, sure, but like when it's a high stakes match, and I'm pretty sure you get quite emotive when you're watching.
It, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can only say so much.
Exactly, and then you go outside for 2 minutes because you're getting pushed to come back on stage, and it's like it's incredibly stressful. I've grown great hair. I've got great hairs now.
Honestly, have you seen how great Mini looks now? Like he doesn't have to coach anymore. He looks. Yeah, he's got life back in his face.
And I think it's the most like one of the most unappreciated job in terms of that if your team is having a success or a successful year, most of the time it comes to players, which is normal. And it should be like this because let's be realistic, players are the most important part of any team success because in the end, it's them playing the game. But if you are losing, this is when the coach is always the problem. Like no matter what, even though people sometimes like they see you, they see you like 5 times a year, not even you, but your team playing, while you spend with like Valorant and the guys and in the office sometimes like 200 days a year. So it's a little bit tricky in the way of how to judge it, and it's probably impossible to judge it.
I'm pretty sure we were going on close to 400 scrims already by the time that middle of stage 1 I think is when I checked it, like, and that's with our 5 and that's halfway through the year.
How do you feel about the new meta of orgs being a lot more transparent with talking about scrims, giving fans like the scrim results and the hours and because I remember the only team that ever did that back in the day was Gambit. Gambit were very open about
the end of the year.
Yeah, super open about it. So do you like this? Do you think this is important?
I don't mind, to be honest. I know that Giantix did it, and we hid the names like of the teams we played. So we made like a team 1, team 2, team 3 and the stuff like that. And there is only like tier 1 or tier 2, just because not everyone is ready to show that you played against each other, even though it will not leak anything like in terms of comps or maps you played or something. It just says like result, and which is probably right now is on Twitter, like screenshots, like but
there's a whole account for that now, isn't there?
But I mean, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it doesn't matter. I think it's not bad in terms of maybe sometimes showing to the fans how either hard you worked or how the situation is going in this certain period of time in terms of preparation or scrims and the stuff like that.
I think fans like to see it. They like to see it.
I think it can also be a bit misleading. Like, I don't know how you run things, but it's like, at least on my teams, we don't really play to win like 90% of the time. we play to practice stuff, and then generally if the stuff is good, then the scores are high. And it's why like a lot of my teams, at least, like especially on Vitality and MKOI, like sometimes we'll be absolutely blasting people, and then we'll play against like the same team, and then we'll, you know, like a few days later, same map or whatever, and we just fall flat. So I feel like it can be a bit misleading. So, oh yeah, we've won, you know, 80% of our scrims, and it's like, then it's okay, but is the other team practicing? Are they trying a new comp? Are they, you know,
context.
There's context to it, and
there is context.
Context you don't know as well.
In the end, practice doesn't matter. In the end, what matters is when you go here on stage and this is your day X comes, and you have to deliver.
I think
that's it.
I heard a rumor that like BBL, when they had VAC, didn't win a single practice game.
Really?
And then they played kickoff and they won the first game, and that was the first time they won a map with VAC. That's a rumor I heard. So context is really important, especially if you're like trying stuff and trying like comps and play styles.
Yeah. And I remember back in the days at LANs especially, you know, there were always like some various issues and so on and so forth, and practice was always all over the place, and a lot of players were speaking about how like the first time they actually felt good was the day they play on stage. But speaking of the esports side of all of this, and I think enough time has gone past that I'm allowed to instigate a tiny bit and dig for some information. What is your one player that got away, somebody that could have been on your roster, didn't end up happening, and you think, God damn, if we got that guy, things would have been very different? Who's your one? You're laughing.
I have two.
Okay, let's go. Let's hear them.
Obviously, the most important or recent one is a mini for KOI.
Gentlemate's mini?
A Gentlemate's mini.
Okay.
I think everyone kind of knows about that at this point. Like, we basically had mini and he decided to go to Gentlemates.
Yeah.
I think you know, he would have been great on our team, but
fantastic.
Yeah. We wouldn't have put him to IGL either. The second one was for Vitality when we just made VCT, so it was like 2022 2023 CNED.
Ooh. So he decided to go to Foot instead?
No, he decided to go to Navi.
Oh, CNED.
Yeah.
Oh, what could have been?
Yeah.
Oh, what could have been? Nice.
I don't know, to be honest.
Oh, you do know. You do know.
Okay, I will say Derke. After Fnatic.
Giant X Derke was a real possibility?
It was like... we were discussing it, and I know that they had negotiation.
Reunion.
Yeah, Cloud plus Darky, and I mean they had as I know they had negotiations, and in the end he went to Vitality.
I think he wins on this one. Yeah, I think
that's fair enough.
Missing out on Durka in any situation.
I mean, again, it's Darky choice, right? So
yeah, but I reckon we could get a Cloud Durka reunion one day. Because they used to play together. I know they're very friendly. Like, that would be insane if that happened, you know?
Yeah, that would be a banger.
That would actually be insane. Actually, that Crow crowd, I don't know how much you remember of who was on that roster. They've all been doing quite well too, right?
I mean, I could give you a heart attack and say, how about Cloud goes to Vitality to reunite with SLK as well? You know, like Durka, SLK, and Cloud. And he's like...
Danny's like, do not put any ideas out there. That cannot happen. You can't afford to lose Cloud. But I do wonder, like, you know, because we hear these things behind the scenes, right? There's always like, oh, this person could go there and this person could go here. But outside of the roster, I guess, moves, what would you say for you personally has been, I guess, the biggest highlight of your career so far in the last 5 years? What's your favorite moment?
Probably going champs with Giants in 2023.
LCQ? After LCQ?
Yeah. And I think we had a pretty good year overall back then. And LCQ, we won like super smoothly, I think. We didn't drop a single map. Also, yeah, probably this would be the biggest highlight. And also probably I remember the first Masters event with G2 when we qualified. And I think we lost in the grand final to FPX. Back then.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. That takes me back.
Yeah.
Was that Icebox? You played Icebox?
Yeah, it was Reykjavik.
Yeah. 2022?
I think, yeah.
Oh, that was I was with the FPX team at that point.
Was that your highlight? Is that,
it's not my highlight, but I was there.
And I think it was when they played with Buddy G.
Yeah.
Instead of, I don't remember who. Yeah, Ardis.
Because Ardis had COVID.
So... Yeah, this was probably because we beat Fnatic back then 3-0, remember?
You denied them.
Liquid. Fnatic still went because one team couldn't get there or
Liquid
something.
went because FPX couldn't because of
FPX
the war and Ardis had COVID at the same time. So they wouldn't let them go with without 3 people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then Liquid went. You're right.
And then Liquid went.
There was a meme that like every event Fnatic goes, Liquid somehow
also goes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so those are your highlights. Oh.
Probably yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about you?
My biggest one is probably the Champs Qual with Vitaly. Obviously, it was a big moment for me. I'm getting emotional thinking about.
I started tearing up when I saw you on the screen.
Yeah, it was something, especially because it was the way we won, because it was 12-6 to us on the 3rd map, and then we went to overtime because we choked, and then it was like safe, like I think at like 12-11 safe lost the 1v1 to Boo because of the molly, and yeah, it was all a bit much, you know.
This was 23, right?
No,
24
for
Korea.
Yeah.
Oh, just before. I remember. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Did you expect to qualify at least when you got to the qualification game?
Went to the qualification game, yes, because we were kind of just on fire. Like momentum's like a huge part. Like you win 1-2 games, you're just steamrolling. But like when I first took over, it was like, yeah, we're gonna be. What was said to me is we haven't qualified to an international event yet. Like worst case, we don't qualify to another one. So it's like there's no pressure on you, and we're not expecting you to kind of do that. But yeah, it was definitely like biggest part of my career.
I think we were very excited to see, Safe back as well and Trex. So some of these players, I think Cloud is probably, in my opinion, the best player to never win a trophy. It doesn't seem crazy that he hasn't won a trophy yet. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, he won only LCQ.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like how? But he's so good.
Yeah, he is.
It's
in the end, it's a team game.
Yeah, true. But you got next split. You got this. And then we can retire the Cloud narrative. For the next thing, I'm definitely not influenced in the slightest by Mini. Mini comes up a lot in these conversations. But I want you guys to quickly make me a last 5 year, with the information you have of the last 5 years, EMEA only, please. Make me a team of coach. You can, whatever metric you want. It could be like the best team or the team that you want to work, the players you want to work with the most or whatever. Please make me a team of a coach. I guess it'll be yourself. And then we do maybe IGL, a Flex, Senti, Duelist, and another, I guess, a recon player and a substitute. If you could make me one. It could be anybody in EMEA from the last 5 years. Let's start with IGL. Who are you taking with your IGL? Really?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
Why not?
Yeah, because I thought you might go with like a Cloud or maybe Nats.
I mean, as an IGL, Bolster is probably the best right now. Like, especially if we speak about 5 years.
Oh, okay. You go for the longevity.
Yes, it's like by far, and also the amount of things he does and the amount of times he proved that he doesn't need anyone to being able to have a success. It's insane. Like he had a success with any Fnatic roster from the start, even when they were like Summon FC. He had a success with any coaches he worked.
Sorry, I don't remember. Did you ever beat Summon FC?
I don't remember.
You definitely played against them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I even played against them, I think, as a player.
Yeah, you did. I remember.
And he can have any coach. Like it's not like about only Mini, right? Like which he showed right now. Or even when he qualified to every event with Elma Party. He doesn't care about coaches. He doesn't care about anything. Any roster he can win with Doma, Magnum, any roster he had, Derek is like a crucial part, yes, but even right now Derek is leaving and there is still a success, right? So he probably proved that he's one of the most hardworking IGLs, and at the same time does so much for the team that he can have success with anything, like he doesn't need really so much help from outside as I think people think to being able to have a success. So I would go for Boaster.
Gassing him up so much, pipsoN. Okay, but you do realize you're going to have to do some TikTok dances and stuff. That's the sacrifice you're going to have to make.
Yeah, but as a coach, you don't need to.
Yes,
right?
you do. He'll
But I
make-
will not
involved.
choose myself
Yeah.
as a coach. So
Oh, who would you choose as a coach then? We'll come back to this. Let's finish
yeah,
IGL.
okay.
Yeah, IGL.
Probably Boaster or Angel.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
very different.
Yeah.
Two very different IGLs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think everything that pipsoN echoed about Boaster applies for me as well. And then Angel, just because it's like he's one of the smartest players I've talked to, and he taught me a lot when I was, spent my little 3 months over with him.
FPX?
So yeah. So
Well, pick one. Go on.
well,
Can't
between
have
the two,
Yeah.
just to be different, I'll go Angel.
Nice.
You know, 'cause
Okay.
I'm
Maybe
not-
your teams can play each other. We'll make it happen. All right, coach. Since you're not picking yourself, I would pick myself in this scenario.
Yeah, like I would.
Yeah. Back yourself.
yeah, but I don't think that's what Boston needs.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Like
So
I
so
think
who do you pick? The mini.
no, I think to have the most amount of success, he needs more vibe psychologist, like this perspective, like coach,
a facilitator, right?
like coach, rather than someone who will strategical coach. So in that way,
So not mini.
like
Okay.
so in that way, like I don't really know like a lot of coaches who will be able to do that, but I think this is what he needs the most. So I don't know, like it's actually really, really rough in that way, because there are like some really good strategical coaches we know, like Existence, for example, right? But I don't think Booster needs that.
Then I think you're gonna have to say mini.
I mean, in that case, yeah, it's
you're gonna
probably
have to go
then mini. Like also because this duo worked really good, right? But that's how I would see if you work with Booster.
I'm gonna stick with you in this just for this scenario though. I kind of want to see that happen. Pips and Boaster duo, get you on the TikTok dances. All right, let's go duelist. Duelist next.
Probably Alpha.
Alpha, yeah, as the
I'd
duelist
take Alpha
over
on
Dirke?
duelist. I'd take Alpha on duelist.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Very.
Yeah, he's like,
"Are we
no,
on
no,
another
no."
planet.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
You wouldn't take Alpha on Senti?
I think
Just-
every time Alpha plays duelist, he just goes like nuclear, right?
I like this.
Like,
I like this.
and it's kind of
choice.
rolling it back to the surreal esports days,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I'd take Alpha on duelist.
Okay, interesting. I never would have thought that. pipsoN?
I would go for Dirk.
Yeah. I think it's the
Yeah,
obvious
obviously.
one. But I think there's also a lot of other choices you could go for.
Yes,
We have a
there
lot of good
There
duelists.
are.
Oh,
there.
Yeah.
If we look on the also 5 years, you can go for Prime CNET. It
Yeah.
would be banger.
CNET.
It
There are a
depends.
lot.
Depends what patch. If it's pre-jet nerf,
Yes.
I'm taking
Yeah.
CNET every day.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The
we
thing
have a
is
lot.
that Derek also he can give a lot for the team, but at the same time he also knows how to make good for himself.
But also, you got the synergy already, right? Because Alpha's
Yes.
got to play with Angel, so we'll see how that would go. But you got Boaster, Dirk, Mini. Are you just making Fnatic?
He's just
I
making
mean,
fun
but
of it.
this is, for example, I think what Kayak is learning right now. Like in the beginning of the year, starting from kickoff, he was not that great individually as he is right now, even though everyone knew that he's really, really good. So I think this is what is he learning right now, like to find the proper balance between doing necessary things for the team needs and at the same time being selfish enough to being able to perform.
I mean, he performed, right?
Yes.
He really performed.
So, but Derke, I think, is really good at this.
He's already had the experience. He's got years and years of doing this.
There's so much thought and precision behind everything. I'm just here throwing names out for vibes, you know?
You're like, I spoke to this guy once. He seems nice. He can join my team. All right. Well, you choose the Senti. You can go with the Senti here. I think there's a very obvious choice.
There is a very
Obvious one.
No, I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna go for the obvious one?
Oh, you want me to go Nats?
Yeah. Right. Is that?
I could go Nats, but I have a feeling you want Nats.
Are you gonna go? Or you could go really rogue, I guess.
I could. I mean, just because he
Safe?
slipped through the net.
Oh yeah. The safe Senti was a legendary.
It was
unreal.
Breeze on A main. Yeah.
He was and just
It was
split.
his-
He remembers.
Yeah.
It actually was against us.
Oh.
He farmed from Killjoy.
We have a lot of good Sentis too. Yeah.
Yeah. I could go safe. Yeah.
You go safe?
I think safe's a solid shout.
Safe Alpha Angel. My goodness, that's a team.
I would go for nuts.
Yeah, that's you go for the.
He's building a
obvious
full.
choice.
Oh no, because you got Boaster. I was gonna say you're building
Yeah,
a full Russian
so
team.
and in that case, you can kind of like You can give Nuts full freedom because he's
what
really
about
good.
Sui? Sorry. What about Sui?
Sugetsu?
Yeah.
Sui is really good, but
Nuts
right now
over
he's
Sui?
a smoker. So I think that Nuts is gonna fit a little bit of what Bosta thinks about the game. He always let his Sentinel have a lot of freedom. Like even when Alpha played the Sentinel, he had a lot of freedom and a lot of ideas were behind this Sentinel guy. And Nuts, I think, is really good at solo decision makings and one of the best in the world probably around this.
Yeah.
And if you give him this freedom and at the same time his team is gonna do things for him to being able to play, he's gonna be insane, even though he's insane right now overall. So I would go for Nuts.
Oh, I mean, I would have also gone for Nuts. I just feel like that's the. But again, I like your team too. You know, the logic you've had so far in your team.
Oh, vibes.
Danny's
vibes
like
and
got
aura.
spreadsheet out. He's cross checking all the stats and spreadsheet. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's how we built Koi. It's just vibes and aura, like hype moments and numbers.
Hype. Yep. There's another Senti. All right. Do we want to separate Flex and Recon, or do you just want to have two Flex
Just
players?
two initiators.
Yeah, just two initiators.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, well, let's go for initiator. For our first initiator. It's an obvious choice. Go on.
I would go for Chronicle.
Oh, that's not what that wasn't. Yeah, okay.
Because I think he's obviously a legendary player who
Yeah.
probably has the biggest amount of achievements, and he almost every time has good performance, no matter what. He's Flex, so we can not only say initiator. Like whatever
Yeah.
meta this team will need to play, they will be able to play. If they need to play double Sentinel, he is ready to play Viper, whatever like you give him. If you need to play any double initiators comps, he will be able to play it 100% no matter what. And so it's super nice in this way to have the Chronicle. And at the same time, he is really, really skilled. So,
well, he's left open a very good player for you to nick.
Leo.
Yeah, that I thought that was
It's the go-to one.
the go-to, right?
Yeah.
Almost a similar reason to Kron.
Yeah, like he's
Plug and play.
Yeah, plug and play. Like him and Safer, have got that synergy as well.
Oh yeah, okay. You taking a page out of his, but you got the guild reunion.
I'm going full like ultimate team.
Okay.
Green lines and
Yeah, but I feel like Angel is going to be a little bit left out with this because Alpha and Leo played together, Safe and Leo.
Sometimes you need to have the double red on the goalkeeper. like.
And then Angel's just there. All right. One more player. I'm just gonna let you choose whoever. Roll. Let's just sack the rolls. Your fifth.
Profec.
Oh.
Profec for smokes, I think.
Fantastic choice.
Yeah.
So Angel can play whatever he wants. You will alleviate the smokes
from
Angel.
I mean, we see it now, like with Shao playing other roles as well. And last year with Shao playing smokes, like Angel doesn't necessarily always want to play smokes. So you're just kind of giving him that freedom, whichever. You want to play Deadlock?
Yeah.
Go for it, mate.
I think Profec is a fantastic choice.
Yeah.
For me, probably the best player on BBL, which is a controversial, I know.
I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league at the moment.
Agreed. Full agreed. Who's your fifth?
Cloud.
Oh, Cloud. Okay.
And I do think that Cloud will be insane if he would have that roster individually as well, and everyone knows it.
Both is going to have to learn Russian. On your roster. Yeah.
Who do I have?
You have Nats, Kron, Dirke, and Cloud.
Insane.
Yeah, but both just...
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You could swap. You could take Redcar. Or...
yeah, you could... Yeah, there you go.
Full Russian.
Full Russian.
Nah, why do we need that? It's not about speaking one language, right?
True.
And
Cloud is an insane choice. That's really, really good.
This is what I would go for.
What would Cloud play on this roster?
He can play Recons.
Okay.
And then Chronicle can flex on any initiator. Nats can play Sentinel. Bosta will play Smokes, and Derke will play Duelist.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I like that. The play styles of both of these teams are very different, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very different. All right, I'll give you a substitute. Something happens. Dirk licks a doorknob again. Somebody has to step in as an emergency sub. Who you taking with you?
Does it have to have been like a sub in the past?
No, it could be any player.
Any player.
Yeah. You know, any player from the last 5 years. You could be creative with it. I'm thinking Simon Dark for your team, pipsoN. Simon Dark is, by the way, one of my favorite players ever.
Really?
I've been I'm a day one Simon Darker. So I'm happy he might get a shot next split.
I was thinking because it has to be someone very flexible, right?
I will go for Magnum.
Oh, that's an amazing choice.
As a sub, I think
that is
it's
an
insane.
amazing choice. Yes. And he's played with these boys before. There's a lot, you know, we're weaving the web. I think Yumpy's a good choice for a super sub.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like someone that can play like kind of all roles. If I'm going out there, maybe Aves. Because he's been playing Duelist, he's been playing Initiate, he's been frying as well, man. Like he's been playing.
And he's
really
good
well.
vibes.
Exactly.
I know he's a nice kid. He's good vibes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I don't know who I need to speak to make this happen. I have a long list of things I need to make happen. You know, the coaches, the ultimate team, but we'll try and make this happen. And you guys who's listening, let us know which team you like more. Whose team is better. I think I like I'm biased. Yeah. Sorry, I'm biased. But yeah, but you guys tell us.
Angel Safe, I think, will be banger.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But that's what I mean. But
we're just going to get fined. Like, you know.
Non-stop.
Yeah, Alpha's going to be standing up. Yeah. Let's move on to a very quick segment I would like to call Meta or Meh. I'm going to give you a topic and I want you to tell me if right now you think this is meta or it's, you know, it's like kind of meh. So example I will give you is, I'm trying to think of a good example. But you understand the concept. I don't need to give you an example.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice, thank you.
Okay.
Right, okay, let's just jump into it. Since you guys are both kind of known for your iceboxes in the last 5 years, you both like icebox. You've both done some stuff on icebox that we've watched and loved. Sage back on icebox. Do we think it's meta or meh?
In the current meta?
Yeah, right now in this second. Super meh? Both of you meh?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think Gecko is still superior, on this map.
You could play both. No duelist.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
But you want to have Omen if you don't have a duelist, because he can also make a lot of plays with TPs, right? So I don't think that, like, especially in the current Tejo meta, when you have options between.
Oh, what about the next
Tejo-
patch then? The next patch.
Next patch, it would be actually maybe. Not like meh, not like meta, but maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much on a similar page.
Oh,
like,
that's so interesting.
The way you want to play with Teo at the moment is just very flood, plan denial, and Sage. It kind of just limits your options.
Nukes it.
You know, you do the wall, you
You
tap
tap the spike, there is missiles, and I'm running out.
You know, like it's yeah. But I think like post Teo, it could be better. I do disagree a bit with the Omen because Icebox is like, it's very vertical, but you can get to the vertical bits without TPs. Yeah, it's easier to updraft and whatever. But Sage for me at the moment, I would still prefer Gecko. I think afterwards.
Yeah.
So you don't think it's going to set off a trend after seeing Kayak Sage that every team is just going to all of a sudden insert it?
I don't think so. Americas loves their harbor, right?
Yeah.
And Gecko as well.
Yeah.
Like 100 Thieves, I think they played Gecko almost every map.
Yeah, G2, I remember at Champs last year played Gecko Harbor. Like they played them both, no duelist, and that was like really good. So. And
also about Fnatic, Fnatic is lately like more conservative with their compositions. If you look on their Lotus, they play the comp they played in 2023, and again, it's the best. It's a really good comp, but like right now, it doesn't mean that you need to have like one exact composition to being able to win. Especially if we can take a look, for example, on the last Masters event, which was won by T1. It was already a Tejo meta.
Yeah.
And T1 was the team who didn't play Tejo almost on any map. And from all the teams, they were the team who picked the least amount of Tejo and they won the event. It's like there are a lot of good ways to being able to play. I think the most important is to make sure that your players are comfortable playing this and having a good understanding of how they want to do it.
There's a variety. I like that. You know, you don't have to all follow one set of rules. In which case, we'll stick with Icebox. Going A for the 12 rounds on attack in a row. Is that meta or meh?
Yeah, it's completely mad. Meta.
Oh, meta.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, just do it.
Yeah,
like,
just do it. That's what you should do.
Yeah, if the other team's comp is bad as well. Like, sometimes Icebox is win or lost in agent select. Like, the other team picks a comp that's kind of basically they have to play retake because their A hold's bad, just go A. Like,
okay, I like that because you, pipsoN, pioneered the ignoring B and just go A for 12 rounds in a row. In fact, you called a timeout during that attack side, and after that timeout, you still went A for like 3 rounds after that. So
yeah, because
so is it meta or meh?
Right now,
yeah,
meh.
Meh, going A 12 rounds in a row is meh. Why?
Because of Tejo. And the
next patch. But by the time this
will be meta.
Okay,
because the problem with Tejo is that there is a certain good ways of how you can attack A, let's say like that, and Tejo ruins a lot of them, like most of them, especially right now with Tejo Mito, the strongest possibility of floating out, which was not that strong back then, especially back then when there was no Geeko. And it was chamber meta when it was meta to go A. You cannot float with like Geeko Tejo, like missiles, flashes, all of that stuff. So it was super, super, super strong. And until people learned that they can do similar flat with Kaio.
All right.
So
it's coming back.
I would say it can come back, but it still would be meh.
All right. I think it's meta. I'm with you. It's just life on easy mode, right? Why make things hard for yourself? Next one, going outside, leaving your house, getting some fresh air, not being a gamer.
This is meta.
For me at the moment, definitely is meta.
Yeah. All right. Do you tell your players that, like, hey, you need to go outside sometimes?
Yeah. And I do think that to being able to have good performance, you kind of need to enjoy your life. Otherwise, it's really, really rough, especially knowing that everyone here is living outside of their actual home, not seeing their family, not seeing their in real life friends and the stuff like that. I think to being able to have a success in these circumstances, you must being able to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Go touch some grass.
Yeah, touch some grass. Get active as well. Healthy bodies, healthy mind. And like, we're sat at PCs majority of the day, like our eyes are straining, we're, very concentrated. And I think having a social life surrounding yourself with, at least like if you can on your off days or evenings, I've always tried to done like a very compressed schedule. So it's still light outside when we're finished. I just think it's the key.
But how hard is it to actually get your players to not go home and just play ranked all night, and once in a while to tell them like, hey, go enjoy your life? Because it's easier said than done, right?
I think it's easier in like the off time to do. Like, I'm not fully against it when we're like, in season or have a super week, or we're like, we had last game of 1 week and the first game of the next, like back to back. I've, but I think like during like times like now, like, if you don't qualify to masters, like go and enjoy it a bit, like we'll finish earlier, we'll take a, slower schedule, and then go out into Berlin. It's a lovely city. Or even like if you're at home, like practicing from home, like go and do stuff with your friends. Like
go outside. Go outside once in a while. And I guess this next one is kind of related to it as well. Knowing how to cook. Cooking.
I used to be a chef, so
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, meta. Every instance, I'll throw it in there. Like 3 years. So
I actually think it's also meta. I will.
Do you know how to cook?
Yeah. Like the thing is that a lot of young people right now, they can like sometimes some people in the office has to be like older brothers for them in a lot of aspects.
They're kids. Yeah.
Yes, and this can be one of the things that some people doesn't know even how to cook pasta, like a simple pasta.
Yeah.
No one is saying like a proper pasta, right? But it's just sometimes you have to help to people, and I think it's meta. Like overall, eating your food, which you cooked by yourself, and you know what was inside there, it's insane.
So if we're coming to your house and you gotta, make me a nice dinner, what are you making? What's your signature?
I would make you salmon on the grill.
Oh, salmon on the grill. Very healthy, Danny. I wouldn't have expected that out of you. I like that. What do you think about that? Salmon on the grill?
Salmon on the grill?
Yeah.
I prefer mine like in the pan, like with really crispy skin.
Okay.
Like,
yeah. So what are you making?
I mean, I'm simple. Like, I'll just do a carbonara. My carbonaras are.
Do you roll out the pasta yourself? Are you making the pasta?
Right, no, like
I'm not catching salmon myself as well.
Well, then I'm not coming. Yeah.
No, but like I go to Reve, I get pancetta, and you know, but yeah, carbonara is like my thing. I make good carbonara.
Yeah. Do you often cook for other people? No, you don't get a chance to?
Yeah, not really. Like the main people I see in Berlin are either too busy, like with their own teams, or my team lived in a completely different part of Berlin to me. So
oh, I see.
Not a frequent thing for me. No.
All right. Well, we'll do a cookout as well. We'll do a potluck. You know, after you guys play against each other, the coach 5v5, you know, we can maybe everyone bring a dish.
Instead of map 3, we just do like
a cook-off, like bake-off.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe on 10-year anniversary, we do instead of coach in game, we do coach battle in cooking.
Yeah, I'd be so down.
Like this chef show, you know?
Yeah, like MasterChef. Yeah. I'd be so down. I'm on real cooking as well, but I would make you guys I would make it like something Asian. Yeah, I would do like an Asian thing and dessert. I'll bake something. We'll make it happen. All right. When it comes to being a coach, what is your philosophy when it comes to building a team? What do you look for? What is the main things and what don't you look for? So how quickly can you decide, yes, we want this player and no, we don't want this player?
I think first of all, it takes time. Second of all, it's not only coaches choosing players. So you also have a organization, club, which has a certain vision of how do they want to work and which philosophy they want to use. And I think this is also the third thing is you need to understand which type of club you are, because some clubs doesn't have the same amount of resources or reputations to being able to bring certain players. So you need to have a certain philosophy in terms of how do you want to proceed overall. Like what is your goals? Is it like a short-term goals or a long-term goals? What do you want to achieve? And I think only after answering on these questions, you will be able to have an understanding which players do you want to choose.
So if your hands are not tied, you know, if it's got to a point where you know exactly what the org wants, what the team wants, and if any player is watching right now, tier 2, tier 3, thinking, oh, I'm going to have a good trial, what's the biggest red flag for you? What's like, if you want a trial, if you want to take it seriously, if you want to join us, do not do this during a trial.
Running it down to get as many kills as possible.
Is that really obvious to spot? You can tell.
For me, it kind of is. And it's very obvious when a player's doing it. I don't know about
just trying to farm?
Trying to impress because they think that numbers mean everything. For me, like I'm looking for individual decision making. What you're doing in sense. I always ask like players to record POVs for trials. Comms as well is a important thing.
Like, do they need to speak a lot or
say the right things at the right time? If you're lurking, call your timing so that the players know, that are execing know, okay, yeah, we just need to hold off, or call how you're setting up on your site, what you're playing for, what you're not, like these basic things. So like rotators can it's surprising like how many like players are missing this. Yeah.
What about you, pipsoN?
I don't mind running it down.
You don't mind if a player runs it down? Okay. But what's your biggest red flag?
At least he shows that he has
confidence.
He has confidence and he has enough brave to being able to do that. I would say being yourself.
So it's a green flag.
Yes, right. It's the green flag. The red flag is if you watch the votes of the player from officials and you know kind of what to expect, and then you see is a complete opposite on a Scrim. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if he runs it down on an official
and he runs it
down on a Scrim and it works,
you know who you're signing.
I'm not calling that running it down though. I'm calling that's just how he plays.
Oh, you mean like egoing, trying to.
So this is what I mean, and would be the red flag, like because there are some people like this in general.
You don't have to name names, but what is the player that's impressed you the most in a trial that you saw it instantly and you just thought, we have to get this person. This is everything that I want in a player.
Safe.
Oh, really? So what was it about Safe that?
So I just remember one moment, because we all know like how good Safe is, right? But it was our first day trialing Safe on Vitality, and we were playing Liquid on Split, and this was his first trial after getting kicked from Liquid. And he walks out of B main, and then there's one guy on rafters, and then they're in an up-down below Heaven on B, and we're attack. And he just gets all three.
Oh my goodness.
And then, like, I don't really like, the hype moments and that. It's not really affecting decision making during trials, but yeah, it was like, we're just going to give you a contract.
Wow.
You're as good as they say.
Yeah. Oh, he kind of, what you said, right? You see him do that in official, you see it doing in Scrim. You're like, fair enough. Yeah. This is just how he plays. What about you, Pips?
It's actually a rough one.
He's like, not every player. I'm like, you need to do this better.
There's
no perfect players.
It's actually a rough one because there are actually a lot of people who is really, really good.
Maybe just one that sticks into your mind.
If we go from latest ones, let's say it's Aura.
What was it about him?
Amount of confidence he has and amount of space he will be able to give, and his game sense. Like his small game sense with all of these things he's doing, like you probably saw, like with like shorties, like being super aggressive, he buys shorty every round, amount of small game sense which are probably he doesn't even recognize by himself. That, for example, if he's hiding Sova on us and on middle, and the guys are doing the insta middle punish, and he's smoking reveal and takes a knife and jump spot once from middle, so the Jet who dash in sees that he's jump spotting, so she doesn't check Sova, but he will never think about it during the process. He will just
do it.
Yeah, it's all
intuitively,
instinct, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you saw that when you charged.
So
how quickly did you see that?
Actually, pretty quick. He's actually like in that ways he is really good.
Oh, there we go. I hope some players can soak this up, and when they eventually trial for tier 1, they can replicate some of these things. When it comes to what's happening in the future, the immediate future is going to be Masters Toronto, of course. Will you guys be watching it?
Yeah.
Check out what's going on. What the other regions bring. How do you think our region will fare? Because there's a lot of chat about EMEA not being a strong region as we were back in like 2023. Do you think we have a competitive chance?
I think yes. I think now yes, because the teams who qualified are actually really good. Yep. Like Fnatic is really good. Heretics, everyone knows, is really good, and I will not be surprised if they will go final again. Liquid is doing a good job, like in the EMEA scene. We will see how it will go in the Masters. But for the EMEA scene, they are doing a good job. But having Fnatic plus Heretics right now, plus Liquid, who is recently in a really good shape, I think it's going to be great. The only concern is, first of all, is schedule time, right? So there is a sunset right now, and it's just finished. So there is not a lot of time. And the second of all is a new patch, which is no Teho, which is how the teams will go. Yesterday I saw Heretics already tried, or when did they try?
It was day before yesterday. Day before yesterday.
They almost didn't play Teho, so they probably already tried to a little bit prepare. And at the same time, Fnatic, as I told here before, being a little bit more conservative in certain compositions, on certain maps, might actually help them in this meta to being great.
Damn, you're giving me some confidence.
I think the only like kind of team that stands in our way in this event is G2. And then that's going to depend on how well they adapt to the non-Teo meta. Trent only plays Teo at the moment. But I honestly think there's a good shot we could win it. I think it's the most...
Really? Okay.
I think it's the most confident I've been in Europe since Fnatic 23, right? So
we haven't won a trophy since Jake shook his ass in Tokyo.
Maybe
have not.
maybe Alpha standing up isn't the curse.
No, but he needs to not stand up.
Yeah.
And it's also a lot of new faces from other regions coming, which which is sometimes first time coming to such an event, is rough. For example, like from Chinese region, there are new teams coming, right?
Yeah.
There's
a lot of stuff going on over there. Yeah.
From Pacific region, there is a RRQ.
Yeah.
Coming. Obviously, there is still like names like Genji, right? But because there are a lot of also some new teams, some new faces, and Europe sending kind of at least 2 really experienced teams already in that way, which is Heretics and Fnatic. I think it is possible to have a really good Masters event, but NA is also really good right now.
Yeah. They're bringing some good teams. I mean,
Yes.
Aspas looks insane on MIBR.
G2 Sentinels.
Yeah, Verno looks good as well.
Yes.
I think
It's actually...
I'm scared.
I mean, NA is strong right now as well. So
I'm also scared because Heretics got to play Paper Rex first. You know, you have the like Genji MIBR. I think it's Liquid Bilibili. I'm pretty confident in that one. Sentinels Wolves, and then Heretics Paper Rex, which in my opinion could even be like a semi-final down the line.
I think if Paper X realize that whenever something's on Duelist, they just win.
You don't like his Brimstone?
I do not. Just put the guy on Jet, no? Like,
yeah.
At some points when you have a player like that, it's like when you know, let's say you have CNET on your team and you're trying to put him on like Neon or Raze or something. Just
I want to remind you, CNET played Doman.
Yeah, I do you know what? I think about that more than I should.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot because when I see Koala do it, I'm like, this is what Angel wanted, you know? This is his vision. I see the vision, but you know, you gotta you gotta work with the tools you got.
Yeah, but sometimes it's also when you have the tools, let's say in a Paper X way, and it didn't work for quite a long time already for them, right? Like kickoff, it was not good at all. Then starting of the stage 1, it was not really good. They started, I think, 0-2 or 0-3 in the group. Like it was not working. At certain point, you are just trying to do anything to make it work, and you are ready to switch whatever it takes to being able to have a result you want or you expect as a team. So
thank God they have Forsaken. Thank goodness. I also want to ask you the $1 million question, which is, give me the finals of Toronto. Who's playing against who and who's winning? Let's see if you're the prophets, you know? You could predict it before we even see the new teams.
One team's definitely G2.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's kind of between like Heretics, Fnatic, Sentinels, MIBR, one of those. Like it's going to be a full EU-NA or NA final.
I think the teams that play Swiss have an advantage because they get to actually play Sunset. They get to play.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the seed ones, you know, you never know how good your game plan is.
I think G2 Heretics then for me.
That's a good shout. I don't want G2 Sen. Anything but All America's final.
Yeah. It's actually a really, really rough because Genji is also there right now, and they looked good. Heretics before the finals can delete everyone apparently right now. Yeah.
Also XLG, that's my dark horse a little bit. Although with everything that's going on, but I think they'll still be fine.
I would go for G2 Fnatic. If Fnatic will be managed to find the map pool really quick, because right now it is Pearl plus Sunset, and before Sunset was not going great for...
They permaban both of those maps.
Yes. Yeah. So if they will be managed to find the way of how do they want to proceed, and one of that will work, and I suppose it will be Sunset, not Pearl. So...
Actually, with the new map, I'm very confident for G2. Like knowing, because if Heretics make it through the lower bracket, G2 can just force them to play Pearl and ban Sunset. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, and actually Heretics Sunset was really good.
Yeah.
Back then.
That's what I mean. It's like a very, very interesting tournament indeed. And a super quick last question before I let you guys go. What would you like to see in the next 5 years of Valorant as we close this birthday edition out? Give me one thing you want to see. I
want to see more Tier 1 matches.
More games.
More games.
More reps.
Yes.
I agree.
Not 5 games a stage, but at least that every stage everyone play each other.
I like that.
At least that.
Does it have to be in esports?
No, it could be anything.
I want to see like more modes, more like game modes in the game. You know,
like Earth.
I remember like the snowball fight game mode the other year. That was amazing.
That was
like
really
that
fun.
was fun.
Stuff that's not revolving around planting and defusing the spike.
Mm-hmm.
For me, like, you know, I mean, surf, bunny hop is all, you know, of course,
hide and
like,
seek.
just hide and seek, but like, you know, just like more variety in stuff we can play. Because
Prop hunt. Oh my goodness, I would love that.
maybe, and if I can add one more, and maybe some more features for custom games.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
you know, placing bots and, you know, setting your respawn points and that.
And a
Good
replay
ideas.
system.
Hmm?
And the replay
Replay-
system.
That's
you're
coming.
so
That's
original.
coming. That's coming.
You're so original, Pips. I never would have thought you would say that. But thank you very much, Gorilla and pipsoN, for joining me. And I can't wait to see you guys in Split 2.
Thank you.
Especially you.